Good morning. The committee will come to order. I want to thank not only our committee members, but our witnesses that are here today. Some people have suggested that perhaps today isn't a good day to be at work. I think it's a great day to be at work, and appreciate the inconvenience that some may have gone through to make sure that we're beginning this hearing to discuss infrastructure as it relates to the energy sector. Senator Cantwell and I were just remembering that I believe we were the only committee that was operating when we had a big snow dump last year, and the hearing at that point in time was to focus on issues of the Arctic. And so we'll have an opportunity to talk about that a little bit more as it relates to infrastructure as well. But this is our first hearing on infrastructure in this new Congress. I'm certain it will not be our last. We're planning today to look at lands, water, and resource-related infrastructure. Well, that will come next week. And then infrastructure will also be a prominent theme at hearings we've planned on our foreign mineral dependence, cybersecurity, and other issues. What I hope that we can all agree on through all of these hearings is that the types of infrastructure within our committee's jurisdiction are critically important to our country's growth and our prosperity. The United States has some of the most robust and reliable energy infrastructure in the world. It allows us to harness energy and move it from where it's produced to where it's utilized. Without it, there would be no fuel when we pull up to the station, and there would be no light when we flip on a switch. Energy infrastructure is central to our way of life and our standard of living, but it's almost always an afterthought until it breaks down on us. We've seen that too often in recent years, making this a perfect time to look at our options to either rebuild or, in many cases, build energy infrastructure for the first time. The reality is that we've got our work cut out for us, but that work can be made less difficult, take less time, and cost less money if we engage in real solutions. Much of our nation's infrastructure is privately owned and maintained. Upgrading it and building new infrastructure is an expensive and time-consuming process. Hundreds of projects representing billions of dollars of investment are currently navigating the federal labyrinth of permitting. Multiple agencies, numerous forms, duplicative requirements make this process cumbersome and could delay projects for years. Of course, the federal permitting process is also layered on top of state and local permitting processes with little to no apparent coordination at times, which only adds to the difficulty of getting to yes with a project. I'm glad that the President has made infrastructure a national priority. I look forward to working with him and his administration, as well as members of the Senate, to develop a broad infrastructure package, and I certainly hope that package will include provisions that streamline the permitting process for all energy projects. President Trump has already taken some notable first steps by restoring regulatory fairness for projects like the Keystone XL project. I had an opportunity last Friday to meet with Prime Minister Trudeau. I think it's fair to say that he is pleased that the United States is taking another look at this important project. But we all recognize that there's a lot to do. Developing and constructing new energy infrastructure projects can help make energy cleaner, cheaper, and more abundant, and it can have a tremendous impact on our rural communities. I'm pleased that Mr. Clay Copeland, the mayor of Cordova, and the CEO of Cordova Electric Cooperative is here with us this morning to discuss how energy development in our home state has transitioned communities away from diesel power, lowered our costs, and made energy delivery more affordable. What Mayor Copeland has been able to do over the years with his focus on small hydro has really made a difference, not only for Cordova, but those other communities that look to Cordova for an example. I also want to point out that when Congress considers an infrastructure package, our committee will in many ways be ahead of the curve on a potential contribution to it. During the development of our bipartisan energy bill last year, we dedicated a significant amount of time to these challenges. Our members brought forward a number of good ideas to strengthen our energy infrastructure, including streamlining the permitting process for LNG exports, enhancing electricity delivery, and improving the regulatory process for hydro relicensing and licensing itself. I was pleased that we were able to incorporate many of those ideas into the bill that passed the Senate last year with 85 votes. I'm well aware that they are still available to us to enact into law in this new Congress. I like to say that energy is good. You all have heard that. This morning, I would add to it that energy infrastructure is good, and that it belongs in any conversation that we have about roads, bridges, airports. This is an important subject, and I'm, again, thankful that our witnesses were able to join us this morning. Senator Cantwell, I would welcome your opening remarks.
Thank you, Madam